So as you are going through this process, you're like, okay, hey, I'm going to start this podcast. I'm not an investor, so I'm going to start an investing podcast. I'm going to learn how to invest. I'm going to bring some people on. I'm going to educate others while educating myself. Totally brilliant. I absolutely love it. What are some of the best lessons that you've learned going from entrepreneur to investor? This could be specific investments. This could be principles. This can be, whatever you want it to be. But like, what are the lessons that you feel like are real good foundational lessons for someone that maybe is transitioning from having a big exit into where, you're getting your money to work for you?
Yeah, I guess, the same themes keep coming up for us. And if you look at our portfolios, or at least my portfolio, I'm very diversified. And this was kind of one of my drivers, I guess, if you look at what I wanted to do. So I looked at, okay, what's actually my goal? My goal is, what's most people's financial goal? And most places you look and be like, okay, generate enough passive income to be able to support your lifestyle. But I got to that point and I realized, well, this kind of sucks, because now I feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Right. And then inflation seems to be actually decreasing my net wealth. So what's better is, I want to create enough passive income to be able to live my lifestyle while still increasing my net wealth, and having a surplus, in fact, to be able to invest in really interesting things, whether lifestyle or investments. And so the second thing was, like, I never wanted to lose money, because I was spending it down. I made some mistakes early on. In fact, I think my advisors lost me money on the whole, and it just sucked. And I was always that guy going to like casinos, and losing $20 on blackjack was so much worse than like making 50, right? It was just like, I don't like to lose. So I wanted to make sure I was diversified and like maintain my wealth. And then also I want to have a lot of adventures along the way, and have some lottery tickets. Cause I think for me, good investing is often boring investing, but it's such a big part of my life now that I want to make sure I have fun while I'm doing it. But when you think about like, the first thing I needed to do was move my money out of the financial advisors. Right. And that can be a very intimidating process, but it's actually super easy, because most financial advisors are putting you just in a basket of 6 or 7 mutual funds that are literally can be replicated very easily with Vanguard index funds. And so Money Master Game helped me do that. But some of the lessons there are like, low fees are absolutely critical. Low fees, you don't want advisor fees, because those are killer and usually are not productive, like 1%, 1.5%, but also mutual funds. There's a lot of mutual funds that can charge you 1%, 1.5%. But so between an advisor and a mutual fund fee, you can easily have 2 to 3% in fees. Now, if someone's making 8 or 9% a year, they might say, oh, that's whatever, it's fine. But no, that's horrible. Like that, over the course of 10 years, that is massive amounts of money. So you want to keep fees absolutely, absolutely low. The second thing is, like, when it comes to stock equities and stuff, you never want to pick stocks. You always want to be diversified broadly. Very few people can beat the market by picking stocks, even the best money managers. It's a bad idea. Most people do it, including myself, because I just do it to have fun. But generally speaking, you're much, much better just to be the market. And historically, you're going to be fine if you're just the market. When I say the market, just the S&P 500 or total stock market index. Another principle is the best portfolio to own. Now you can go crazy with portfolio diversification, the perfect portfolio and the all seasons portfolio. And, everyone's got their perfect portfolio, and you can have a lot of fun trying to tailor-made a portfolio that you think is going to be, 8% versus 9% or 10% versus 9%. But ultimately, the best portfolio is the one that you can hold. If you're 80% stocks and 20% bonds, or you have gold or inflation protected indexes in there, municipal bonds, or whatever you have, you typically want to be majority stocks. But are you majority US, you majority international, you small cap, large cap, emerging markets? What really matters is sticking to something. And Fidelity did a big research project on this, and they figured that the most successful people clients of theirs were actually basically clients that died, and no one had inherited that, because that was the fund that no one touched, because everyone wants to touch it. Oh, move money here, take money out, pause my account, send me back some money, invest a little more. No, you just want to keep it where it's at and you want to add to it. So there's some really like fundamental things that if you like just get right and you cement these learnings in the beginning, you stick to them, and you don't make that major mistake, which is pulling money out in a down market or a bad time. If you can avoid that mistake, your chances to do well over the course of 10, 20, 30 years are very, very good.